So we're going to go over these two first boxes, this having an outstanding balance of $100 and then $500. So you guys can understand a little more in detail how a credit card company works and how they require payments and the sort of timeline of paying them back. So no matter, guys, how much you owe on a credit card, each month you're only required to send in your minimum payment to get good positive points for your credit score. You don't have to pay off your entire balance that you owe the credit card company. As long as you send in the minimum payment, the credit card company will go report to the credit score agency and say, hey, Baki just made his minimum payment on time, give him some good points. And that's all you have to do. So as long as you pay off the minimum, you get good credit score points for those on-time payments on your credit card. Usually, guys, on most credit cards, the minimum required payment each month to get good positive credit score points is only 3% of your outstanding balance. And remember, guys, outstanding balance is that sort of bigger finance term that just says how much you owe the credit card company. Okay? So usually you're only required to do a minimum payment of 3% of what you actually owe them based on what you've been buying on your credit card that month. Then, guys, if you still carry a balance after you make a payment, you are charged the interest fee. That is when the credit card company starts making money off of you, okay? So we're going to do 3 examples of buying some stuff on your credit card. We're going to calculate the minimum payment due. We'll figure out, for each example, guys, we're going to assume that this person is only going to make the minimum payment. You're allowed to pay however much you want off of your credit card debt bill, but you're only required to pay the minimum. So we're going to do a couple examples today of just assuming the minimum, okay? So before I do anything, I need to get a calculator set up. I like my Desmos calculator. You guys can use whatever calculator you want, though. And I just need a quick little for function, nothing fancy. So let's pretend that I filled up my gas tank and went out to eat a couple times this month. And I have an outstanding balance of $100, which means that I used my credit card for $100 worth of purchases throughout this month. And now I owe the credit card company, okay? Because that's how a credit card works. When I use my credit card, the credit card company buys that tank of gas and not one penny comes out of my bank account. Then I just owe the credit card company at the end of the month. So I owe $100. My minimum payment due to make sure that I get good credit score points and don't get horribly hit by missing my payment or not doing the minimum is usually 3%. So I'm going to go take how much I owe the credit card company, $100, and I'm going to go find 3% of that. So I'm going to go take 100 times 3%. And 3% as a decimal is 0.03. And boom, there's my answer. My minimum payment is $3. Pretty cheap, honestly. Now, like I said, for each person, we are going to assume that this person is only going to make that minimum payment. So even though they owe the credit card company $100, they're only going to pay the required minimum, $3. So 100 minus 3 is going to give us $97. And now we will try to figure out what our interest fee is going to be in just a second.